So I almost choked on my morning rusks when I turned on the news and saw a Scarlet flash mob outside the National Treasury. Julius Malema was yelling that he just rescued poor South Africans from higher VAT, while behind him, officials looked like parents caught hiding Christmas presents. Call me old fashioned, but saving the economy usually involves spreadsheets, not street chants, and certainly not a free bus ride funded by the very taxes they claim to hate. In this sea of red, party leader Julius Malema puffed out his chest and called the day a people's triumphant against so-called anti-poor budgets right there on the avenue between the Union buildings and the National Treasury. His supporters came in from townships, danced behind him, and waved plastic play cards that would later land in the same bins that we pay municipal rates to empty. Malema claimed the EFF had forced Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana to scrap a planned 2% point VAT increase just 2 days before Wednesday's make or break budget speech. But the soundbite of the day came with Malema, who mocked the 49 Afrikaners who recently landed in the United States on a special refugee visa. If they were real farmers, where are the farms they left behind? Show me the deeds or stop peddling fairy tales. He even compared the immigrants to car guards who lurk near the mall exits. This was a red carpet comedy, except he was joking about families who felt unsafe enough to sell everything and board a plane. Let's take a look.
Fighting. There are no Afrikaners who have been killed here in South Africa. It's not true. And there are no
Afrikaners being killed in South Africa. There's actually statistics to prove this, but yes, we live in an imaginary world, in fact.
49 Afrikaners who left South Africa. You all know that. It's a fiction. It's drama. America with drama is number one. That thing is Muvango. I don't know what is Muvango in Africa. It's just a drama. I believe they landed and then they waited for cameras, took them pictures. The next flight back to South Africa.
Sounds like the Mars or the moon landing, if you ask me.
Those people are farmers. It means there are 49 farms available. Why are we not expropriating them? Because they've abandoned them. But why is the media not telling us? Because they say these are farmers. Why is the media, through its own investigation, say to us, this picture you see is a farmer at this. They are not farmers. There's no one who left farming here in South Africa. I suspect that those whites were these ones who were looking after cars at the parking lot. They were attending to cars and they went to fetch them there. And they can't live. They will never live the kind of life they live here in South Africa, anywhere else. Even if you live here as a millionaire and you go to USA, your money gets reduced to nothing. So no American or Afrikaner will live.
Okay, that's just the logic behind this is very interesting. So he's basically saying that if you go there, you are going to have half the lifestyle, right? The thing he's not taking into consideration, is the fact that when you live in America, you earn in US dollars. So obviously those people are choosing to start over, but they're also going to get jobs and earn in the dollar and therefore, live a better life.
South Africa for America. It's not true. Our country, there's no killing of white people. We're not killing white people. We're demanding our land.
We are not killing white people. It may be far less, but there is certainly murders happening.
We're saying, let's share this land. Let's all work the land. And if that is a crime, it's a crime we're prepared to commit. Because we can't, when we're asking for food, and say, no, you're committing crime by asking. We're having a...
Yes, the logic behind this just doesn't check out. Anyway, remember why some of those families actually packed up. In January, the president signed the Expropriation Act, allowing land seizure without compensation, where the state deems it just and equitable. But lawyers call it Section 25 with a chainsaw attachment. Are farm attacks an urban legend? AfriForum's latest report counted 49 farm murders in 2023, a grim calendar where every month had at least one violent bloodstain. Police numbers differ, but not by much. And crime researchers note that many rural killings target workers as well as owners. Either way, somebody bleeds and nobody brings them back. And the White House has noticed. Donald Trump, never shy with a headline, called the attacks a race-based genocide and gave the 49 Afrikaners a red carpet welcome, with Elon Musk, our richest export since rooibos tea, nodding along on X. President Ramaphosa flew to Washington hoping to reset relations, which is a political code for please stop tweeting at us. At an agricultural fair in Bothaville, even conservative farmers told an Associated Press reporter that genocide is too strong of a word, but they also admitted they sleep with a shotgun by the door. With Ramaphosa arriving in the US on Monday, I can almost picture the Oval Office meeting. Trump leans over and says, "Cyril, my friend, your policies scare investors more than my hair scares barbers." Ramaphosa smiles, but the room smells of awkward and burnt bridges. Back home, Malema claims America wants to bully South Africa into dropping its International Court of Justice case against Israel. I thought the march was about that, not Gaza. Funny how the conversation shifts faster than a pothole dodger on the N1. Speaking of shifting, let's return to the tax that wasn't. The Parliament tried to hike VAT twice this year, and twice it crashed like a cheap Chinese drone. The Western Cape High Court even slapped an interdict on the first attempt after both the EFF and the DA challenged the process, arguing poor households would shoulder the bill. Funny how the people who want higher corporate levies also want free buses to protest about taxes. Meanwhile, the DA suggests trimming ministerial perks instead of dipping into our grocery baskets. It's simple logic. You can't fill an empty pot by drilling another hole in its base. And about that land question, a jurist explainer notes that the new act allows expropriation without payment only when it is in the public interest. A phrase flexible enough to stretch from here to Mars. The article warns that a lack of clear compensation rules could spark more court battles and freeze agricultural investment. Investors hate fog. They like deeds, lawyers, and fences that stay put. Another topic that caught public interest was the red overalls that were dancing in Pretoria. Bright, sticky, and corrupt, splashing across the Social Security Agency. Fresh parliamentary replies reveal that 113 Sassa employees have been implicated in fraud and corruption over the past 3 financial years, with KwaZulu-Natal alone accounting for 40 cases. 113 people paid to protect the vulnerable allegedly turned the grant system into a personal piggy bank. Imagine grandma standing in a queue at dawn for her pension while someone in the back office reroutes her grant to buy a new set of mags for a VW Golf. If anger burns coals, Eskom's grid would glow like Christmas. The Citizen lists 24 accused officials in 2023 to 2024 and another 14 in the current year, making KwaZulu-Natal the frontrunner in what some call the Sticky Fingers League. Mpumalanga follows with 27 cases, while the head office and the Western Cape show a miraculous 0 number. Either they've hired angels down in Bellville, or the paperwork got lost in transit. Minister Lindiwe Zulu explains that suspects are placed on a 60-day precautionary suspension with full pay, pending investigation. With full pay. It's like telling a naughty schoolboy, go sit in the tuck shop and eat on the house while we check what you stole in the back. And the department brags about its electronic fraud and corruption case management system, a title so long it needs its own grant. According to the same memo, 11 people, including Sassa's staff, appeared in court this year to create fake profiles and redirecting 260 million rand meant for real beneficiaries. The computer may track cases, but it cannot refill empty wallets.
Very crucial evidence, but their legal defense saying that the state is purposely actually delaying this case. We've seen multiple postponements in this particular matter. What we've also seen, however, or also heard rather, is their legal defense saying that these suspects have been in prison for quite a while now. We do know that since last year, arrests have been made in this particular case. We also know that some of them were arrested on the same day, but over the past few months, we've seen several arrests. The last suspect, of course, handing herself in court after being hunted by the police for a few months, from what we understand. Sakina.
Just another day in South Africa where the government is picking pockets from the poor. And so the DA, predictably painted as the villain by the ANC, has slammed the agency for crisis after crisis and called for accountability. When the safety net has holes in the size of Durban, you sue them. You don't congratulate spiders weaving new patterns. What ties our two stories together today is simple. A government that preaches equity while tipping over its own shoelaces. On Monday, the EFF cheers against VAT because the poor matter. On Friday, that same poor stands in a queue, prey to officials chasing easy money. If you think that irony is accidental, well, I've got a beachfront property in Bloemfontein to sell to you. South Africa can do better. We need leaders who cut waste, protect farms, and keep grant money where it belongs.